What's up, guys? Today I have a not so fun one for you. We try to make our videos as uplifting and fun and attractive as possible, but the truth is that we love you. We care for you, and with love comes truth, and truth is not always fun to hear. We are not going to hold back for the fear of scaring people away or for upholding a certain image. Our purpose behind this channel is not only to sow seeds of inspiration, but also to sow seeds of truth and love. We try to read this book every day. We want to understand what it says. We don't want to count on what others have to say about it. We want to hear what God says. And there are some passages in this book that are very, very concerning. When we read the words of Jesus, one of our biggest fears in this life is that even though there are many of you watching this video that would call yourselves Christians, you may go to church every Sunday. You may be able to quote scripture left and right. The thought that is deeply troubling to our hearts is that even though you may have done some or all of these things, our fear is that some of you watching this, people we truly care about, even some of our own family members, we worry that some of you might go to hell, to be tormented day and night for all of eternity, and that by the time you figure it out, it'll be too late. Because Jesus actually tells us that this very thing will happen. When he says, "Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? And in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform many miracles." And then he says, "Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers." So just think for a minute what that is saying. Jesus is saying that there will be people who prophesied in his name, drove out demons in his name, and even performed miracles in his name, but he never knew them? That is just wild to think about, because obviously he's speaking about people who are doing many great works in his name, but he never even knew them. One of the worst imaginable tragedies that I could possibly think of is the idea of people thinking they are saved and that they are going to heaven and they're actually not. And it's not fun to talk about, but most importantly, it's not loving to not talk about it in fear that we will offend people and let them figure it out on their own at the end when it's too late. But another fear of ours is that we don't want people who actually know Jesus to feel like they don't and to be worried about it. Our hope and prayer for this video is not to have everyone worried about their salvation, but also we don't want everyone assuming they're saved when they might not be. This is our deepest care for all of you, that you truly know God. We are all going to stand before him one day, and he's going to say one of two things: "Well done, good and faithful servant," or "Depart from me, I never knew you." It's so easy to toss this to the side and become so consumed with the cares of this world, but what could be more important than this? We hear heartbreaking stories and messages from you guys all the time. Stories like finding out your partner has been cheating on you, and that's horrible, and we feel for you, but not as much as we care about your salvation. Some of you are struggling with poor health or losing your job, and we care deeply about that, but not as much as we care about this. There's many bad things that we all deal with and we hear about, and we are here for you for that, but they are nothing in comparison to this, because this is forever. We are all going to stand before God one day, and he's going to say one of two things, and your eternity depends on it. Nobody likes talking about hell, so much so, when's the last time you heard your pastor speak about hell in church? People don't want to talk about it because it's a turnoff, but we can't pretend like it doesn't exist and that people aren't going there. The world teaches us, how can a loving God punish? How could a loving God torture? That's what's popular in our world today, but we aren't here to teach what's popular. We are here to teach what's biblical. Read the Bible for yourselves. Start in Genesis. You'll read about a time where God drowned everyone on the planet. He was grieved that he made them. You'll read about where God told the Egyptians, if you don't let my people go, I will kill the firstborn of every household. Now, I'm not saying he's not a loving God. What I'm saying is that there's other parts of him. He's a God of justice and a God of wrath. Read this book for yourselves. And I can hear a lot of you saying, well, that was in Genesis. That's the way it used to be. Well, flip forward to Revelation. Read about how it all ends. And you will see that Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And that the fear of the Lord truly is the beginning of wisdom. We want to be clear here that God is a God of love. He's a God of redemption and a God that wants to save. That's why he sent his son. But nowhere in this book will you see people praying a prayer and being good to go. It was all about repenting and becoming a new creation. You have to be born again. You have to die to yourself. And that's our question to you today. Have you surrendered your life to Jesus? Or did you simply say a prayer one day in hopes that it will get you into heaven? We believe that we are all saved by faith alone and not by works. But the question is, do you really have faith? James 2:17 says that without works, your faith is dead. And then goes on to say that even the demons believe. Think about that. Wow. What does that mean? It means that you have deceived yourself if you say you have faith in Jesus, but your life does not reflect that. You have no fruit, and you probably don't actually believe. The life you live is evidence as to whether you truly believe or not. We never want you to hear the words out of our Creator's mouth that he never knew you. What could be worse than that? There's nothing more important than your eternity. Are you truly following Jesus? Are you obeying his commands? Are you a new creation? Our prayer for this video is that it's your wake-up call and that you will truly come to know our God and that he truly knows you.